Hi, my name's Keith and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to call your energy back and energy callback techniques. And yes, my interesting video, you see light. Actually, the light's shining directly at me, so it's actually a solar powered light and it's the moon, so we have natural elements at play here. So let's talk about how to call your energy back and what you guys can do, other ways you can restore your energy. Also, I'll be talking about the sun and the moon as well. I might be moving around a little bit. So I'm by the mice tree again. So this tree is full of alive mice, recently alive mice. So they're not squeaking as much. They've been very interesting. So I'm wondering if they're sleeping or if they return to the earth. So back to my topic of this video and how to call your energy back. Yes, I'm talking a lot about different energy callbacks and stuff you guys can do and stuff you guys should be doing. I'm gonna say this right now. I've actually been doing a lot of energy studies because I'm like, this is super important. If you ever just say, I call my energy back to me, and you're like, is it back? Not all of it comes back. It's because it's like, that's the same thing as being like, I like all my blessings, and you just go out in the world and like, you have to be specific. It's like, okay, for example, if God showed up directly in front of you and said, okay, I'll give you whatever you want if you could just name it. So you say money. Well, a lot of you would say, like, a lot of you are actually very good people, and you wouldn't go straight to money. And it's not saying you're very. I'm not saying that you're shallow or anything. It's okay to have material possessions, but it's okay to desire money. But a lot of you, I've actually surprised some of you with a question like, okay, if you could have anything right now, what would it be? And people are like, happiness for my family, good health, and abundance. I'm like, wow, okay. And people always put their family first. But let's just say God appears directly in front of you, or for example, if you, and I was going to say genie in a lamp, but we all know how that goes. Basically, God's the one who doesn't have trickster motives. For example, if you rub a lamp and a genie comes out, which that's actually a thing. It doesn't work how you think it does, but it's a real thing. It's actually jinn, not genie, and it's not necessarily a lamp. It could be a box, but we're not talking about that. And your wishes get, that's a whole different video topic, but let's just say God shows up directly in front of you or just surprises you and be like, okay, anything you want, name it right now. And you say, okay, money. Because a lot of you are going to say money. I'm like, okay, how much? Down to the exact dollar. And you're like, well, and if you have to think about it, then you're like, oh, I'll get back to you on that. Or maybe you can't really think about an exact amount. And it has to be a reasonable amount. It can't just be something you make up. It's like, okay, this is something that you'll actually use for blah, 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 such and such and such and such. But a lot of you can't name the exact amount of money that some of you can. Some of you can't name the exact amount because you're not specific, and that's what I actually tell you guys in Law of Attraction to do, is to be as specific as humanly possible. So same thing with your energy being called back. There's a portion of you, and a lot of people who've been getting custom necklaces for me and who have gotten custom necklaces, I do intense energy work with them to the point where they don't need me to be able to help them. And that's how I train you guys. The thing is, a lot of spiritualists will train someone to be fully reliant on them. I would like you guys to become your own leaders when you get custom necklaces from me. Specifically, the custom necklaces from FloridaStoneman.com is how I get to mentor you guys and teach you guys one-on-one on how to become your own spiritual leader or your own leader. And even if it's not a spiritual leader, it's just you're your own person. You don't need to rely on someone. That's the worst thing about the spiritual community. And the spiritual community, and this is, if you've been under some kind of mentorship, you'll probably notice that these people don't want you knowing anything that's actually helpful. They'll just teach you a bunch of non-secrets that you can find online. And online is mostly AI, so what does that tell you? So let's get into it. Energy callbacks. You got to be specific. So, and for the people who get the regular necklaces on the website too, you can message me when you get a regular necklace, but the custom necklaces come with mentoring and coaching. So a lot of you guys know what I'm going to talk about, but I'll talk about it in depth. So you ever just felt lucky in life at one point and you're just like, I'm at my prime. You can be in an older age, you can be in a younger age. I don't have a concept of age anymore because we're all timeless. Time is just a human construct. If you say I'm old, I'm young, it doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. It's whatever God decides it to be. Look at Abraham and Sarah in the Bible, for example. So they thought they were old, and yeah, still. You guys have to, that's a different topic as well, but back to the topic of this video. So let's just say you had this charm, you had this eloquence, elegance, and pucker face. I'm going to call it the pucker face. Basically, you might have had someone come around who was not, because like this is the thing. You will attract everyone at that point. So that's why you wear a tourmaline necklace, to not attract everyone. You want to attract good people. So the thing is, you really, and I'm going to start walking around now, because I'm seeing extra lights, and this better not be a UFO. So basically, that wasn't a UFO. It's just a bunch of kids. Okay, so it's just randomly parked there. But okay, back to my topic. And yes, I'm scanning my area and perimeter. Okay, let's. And yes, I'll give you an example of that one right now too. So everything that happens in my videos I use as an example. So if I just went over there to check on a bunch of flashing lights around an area, and let's just say I'm doing something. That's the best example ever. I'm doing something. I kind of get distracted, and when you go back to doing something, you're not at your 100%. So I do this anyway when that happens in videos. I'll say it in my head. I call my energy back to me from that little interaction I just had. So that's something you guys have to do as well. Let's just say you're going throughout your day, and let's just say you're making 100 sales a day at whatever you do. Let's just say you were drop shipping or whatever, and you're making 100 sales a day. What happens when someone comes along and they're just like, and they just kind of eat up your time? And maybe it's a good person, but maybe they're just low energy. They kind of distract you, and you might fall behind. So what you have to do is, like, maybe when you're starting to work on your drop shipping and you start focusing on your orders, they pop in your head, and you have an aspect of mental peace taken away, and it's like a tug of war, because when you're doing good, someone came along to try to like poke you. So what you do is you call your energy back. Say, you'll think of the person who you think has your energy or focus, and you say, I call my focus. And I like you guys to come up with some words. So everything's energy. That's why I said you have to be specific. So everything's energy. I call my energy back to me. Okay, what kind of energy? So let's go to some of your exes. I made a video about this, but I'll talk about it again. So someone you date in your life, the relationship doesn't go well, or you feel like that person still has a part of you, and you haven't had your charm back since then. So you'll say, I call my energy back to me from that person. What kind of energy? You're like, okay, you're focused. Let's name some words. You're focused on them. You're concentrated. You're giving them your time. Your mental peace is going to them. So what else? Let's just use those four. So your focus, your time, your patience. It's just different energy. So you'll think of that person, instead of her saying, I call my energy back. So I call my patience back from that person, because maybe you gave them your patience. I call my mental peace back from that person. I call, maybe you were strong until they came along and they took your strength. I call my strength back from that person. I call my energy in terms of time back, because time is a human construct, and that's energy too. I call my time back. Maybe you're focused on them. I call my focus back from them. Focus is energy. Focus is one of the most intense energies. What happens if you focus a magnifying glass? I call, and just name every feeling or emotion you feel pop up. Well, I can smell. There's no one near me eating fried chicken. I'm smelling fried chicken from maybe someone on one of these cars, but I call my fried chicken. No. Whatever that is, but it smells like fried chicken, like with spicy food or with spices in it. But so you'll name all these different energies that you think this person has taken from you, and you'll call them back. You might have to write it down. And how do you know when you have your energy back? Because sometimes you have to do this for like 30 minutes. This person's been in your life for 10 years, but you want to call it back in 1 second? No, take 30 minutes every single day. Well, not 30 minutes, like that's a long time, but it depends on how much they're intruding in your peace. So 5 minutes or 7 minutes every day, and call it back for 5 to 7 minutes. 3, 5, or 7. I'd do it for, you can start with 3. I'd do 7 myself, but call it back. The thing is, your energy call back on a person, for example, who took your peace from your past, like you can visualize someone in your head and you can know exactly what they look like. So for example, I'd like you guys, I'm gonna ask you a question. I'd like you guys to interact with me in this video. What does your mother look like? You can see her directly in your third eye if you know her, or someone who's like a mother to you, because I mean, some people don't know their mothers, unfortunately. So what does your mother look like? You have a clear description image. You know what she looks like. Now, what's your second grade? I mean, what's the earliest teacher you can ever remember in middle school? What does she look like? So or what does your favorite teacher from high school look like? Like, well, I can remember her now. So basically, mine was my ceramics teacher. And yeah, if you're watching this, Miss Marsh, hi, hello. You helped a person become very successful. Thank you, Miss Marsh. I really hope your name is Miss Marsh still, and I hope Miss Marsh watches this video. But she had this hair that was very blonde and very curly, and she let me do ceramics in her class, and I would make stuff every single day in that ceramics class, and that actually made me into the person I am now, is because I always make with my hands, and that was actually the only class, the most important class ever. So back to my point. So, you know, you have to tap into your past, and then you start bringing stuff up again. So it took me a second, because, oh, I'm like, okay, she wears glasses. I remember she wears glasses. She would dress in black and white very often. She had long hair, so it takes you a second to recall them. So what is your mother? I'm gonna ask this question again. What does your mother look like? What does the person who is your favorite teacher look like? So one, you know immediately. One, you have to kind of think about. What does your ex look like? If you can remember them immediately, red flag. Why did it take me a second to be able to think about what my favorite teacher back then looks like? Because my energy is not with her, unfortunately, because as time goes by, I haven't seen her in about probably over 10 years. So now, how young are you? 365 years young, okay? So when it comes to energy, where your placement of energy is, if it's with a person, you're gonna have a tough time recognizing them if your energy's not with them. So the biggest telltale sign is if you can remember what they look like, you need to call back a whole bunch more energy. You need to go back 7 minutes a day, 3 times a day, until you don't remember what they look like. So you legitimately forget about them because you vacuum your energy back from them. Some of these people who go through their lives will have a charm, and they will have a charm. They'll just have like this certain eloquence, this luck about them. That's not even their luck. They're just walking around with some kind of luck they took from someone who slept with them, etc., or someone they hung around with too much. It could be a friend. So let's just say they sat down next to their friend too much, and their friend's luck just rubbed off on them, and now they're lucky. So, and now what they do is they take their luck, and they take their natural luck, and they take your luck, and they intertwine them to make one luck, like a big luck. So when you take it back, this person's gonna fall apart. Doesn't matter if that luck was stolen. It's kind of like, you know, when you play giant Jenga and you pull a Jenga out, the whole thing falls down. They could be the biggest Jenga ever. Everything will fall apart. Wherever they are in life right now will just come apart. So that if they didn't steal energy, they have nothing to worry about. Nothing. If they stole energy, then their whole life will be ruined. Because that's supposed to be your life. If they're living successfully, that's supposed to be your success. But the good thing is it comes back to you. It's now yours. So I'm going to ask you a question. Because we luck can be calculated. You could be one of the luckiest persons right now. So, and you will be luckiest person. I mean, you'll be the luckiest person ever after you do this. So think about this right now. If you were really lucky back then and you're not lucky now, think about who might have taken your luck recently. Immediately, you probably had some people pop in your head that you've interacted with in person. And you probably know what they look like too, huh? I wonder who has your luck? Who has your luck? Now, do this energy exercise with them and just say, I call my energy back, and focus and just feel your energy come back to you. What's that feeling? It's when you go fishing, or let's just say, when you take an anchor and you throw the anchor, it's not, I mean, the anchors are heavy. You're not going to throw an anchor unless you're a Popeye or something, but get some peas or greens or whatever, but spin it. So that anchor's out there, so it takes a second to pull back, But once the anchor is on your ship will get sailing. The body's a vessel, and your life will get back on track, and you'll see people come back again. You will see a whole bunch of people come in your life because they see you doing well. So the biggest thing about this video is find out what you're missing. Think of the person who might have taken it, call it back, and you're going to be one of the luckiest people in the entire world. If you're not wearing a tourmaline necklace, I'd recommend you do, because this makes this about 99% easier. So your luck can literally fall off you when you walk around. That's why I tell people get a black tourmaline necklace from FloridaStoneman.com. It's the #1 crystal. It's literally #1. Nothing else compares to black tourmaline. You see me talking about it all the time for a reason. It's literally something that's necessary for your spiritual journeys. Other people can just take your luck off of you. If you're not wearing tourmaline, they can just take it off of you. Like walk up and touch you. That's it. What do you see happen to people in the casino when they start winning? They get people congratulating them, and too many people start touching them, and they lose their luck. Their charm's gone, and they start losing everything after that. It's because people touched them, and they weren't wearing tourmaline. You can get the world's best tourmaline at FloridaStoneman.com. I suggest it as a necklace, because where do vampires bite? Where do vampires bite in the movie? So protect your throat, because the predators want to bite. So check out FloridaStoneman.com. Oh, I make custom necklaces as well. The custom necklaces are incredibly special because they come with a lifetime of spiritual mentoring from Florida Stoneman one-on-one. So you can DM Florida Stoneman on Instagram for that. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao!